Wait, there's a LEGO Wii remote? Sick! And in today's video, let's take a closer look at this weird piece of LEGO history. And we'll see it turned into an awesome custom LEGO spaceship. And turns out this isn't the only LEGO video game tie-in merch. There's a ton of wacky and weird LEGO video game products. And of course, I'm not just talking about the games, it's all the stuff related to that. So let's dive into the wonderful world of LEGO video game tie-in products. Here's that Wii remote. This fun item released back in 2010. Bear in mind, the original release date for the Nintendo Wii was back in 2006. So yeah, this came out a few years later, you might have missed it. I love how gaudy and bright the colors are. LEGO did not shy away from making this playful and fun. I love it. You'll notice that there's all these green stud connections on the front. And then we've got an anti-stud connection here on the bottom of the Wii remote. You can see from the original packaging that the intention was that you'd customize this with the tiles that were provided. Or yeah, you could just use pieces from your own collection as well. Or hey, why not do what Kevin H has done and use these stud connections to make your own custom spaceship? Is that not the spirit of LEGO? You can build anything. Your imagination is the limit. Use all of your LEGO pieces to make wacky and weird ideas a reality. And even something as strange and frickin' weird as a LEGO Wii remote? Yeah, of course you can use that to build a great looking spaceship. And that's so cool. See, this right here is the reason that I'm obsessed with rare and weird LEGO pieces. Those downright odd LEGO items can end up being the perfect addition to your latest mock. I mean, look at this. Look at how the D-pad and the other buttons here, they just become various greebles and fun space details. The sensor on the front, that could be like a laser cannon. And the way that the base kind of tapers up and smooths out, it adds in a nice sleek shape to the spaceship. It's almost like this piece was born to be used on a spacecraft. And shout out to the little Zalax racer that's riding the ship. He comes from another obscure LEGO Racers theme, but his McDonald's style color scheme was the perfect match for this ship. So look, whether you use your Wii remote for, well, an actual Wii remote to play games, or if you want to use it to build a spaceship, I think it's a beautiful little piece. You could even take this one step further. My friend Kevin H, who by the way was the guy who took the photos of this Wii remote, thank you for providing those, my good friend. Be sure to follow him on his social media, I'll have links below. Kevin provided me with some photos of the insides of this piece. All the circuitry, the buttons, the outer shells. It's kind of beautiful. Imagine using some of these internal guts on your own mocks. You know, using some of these buttons for little data pads or computers. That could look good in a LEGO creation. Or heck, I mean, if you could figure out how to include that circuit board into a bionicle robot, wouldn't that just be dope? I mean, technically, it is a LEGO piece. It still counts. Now, you might think that's it for this weird LEGO item. We've talked everything we can about this. Nope. There's one more fascinating thing that might just blow your mind. I'm sure you're familiar with brick separators, yeah? You get orange ones in basically every LEGO set these days. And there's various styles of them. You can see the original ones right here. They were a bit more chunky. Well, in some of the very first versions of this LEGO Wii remote set, I believe some of the prototypes, it included a red brick separator. Now, bear in mind, if you wanted one of these old ones, they only appeared in green and grey. They didn't come in red. Unfortunately, this was later removed and replaced with a spanner, which sucks. A red brick separator would have been sick. Although, if you want one of these red brick separators, you can get some in the aftermarket. These very rare and very expensive red prototype brick separators, they do pop up every now and then. There's even a yellow one as well. Never appeared in a set, just somehow leaked out of the LEGO factory. But hey, if we look closer, it turns out this is not a red brick separator. See this little thing hanging off the edge here? it was actually a prototype tile separator. Because think about it, brick separators, they link onto the studs of a Lego piece. But this set, it makes you place tiles on top. A brick separator would do nothing. You wouldn't be able to use it. You would need a tile separator. So, wow. It seems that LEGO was playing with the idea of inventing a tile separator, but they abandoned that idea. Interesting. Well, actually, see the spanner? That's why that's here. The other end of it, you can actually slide this under the side of a tile and pop it out. You can also do that with crowbar pieces and some like specialized key elements that came in some dots sets. So I guess that's what LEGO did. They said, a piece already exists that accomplishes the same idea. Let's not invent a whole new tile separator. That's gonna be too difficult. Which I get it, but it's a shame. I would love this to exist. I hope they revisit it today. So if you want to buy one of these Wii remotes, well, there's none for sale on Bricklink right now, sadly. One is on eBay, however, and they want $165 US. Yikes. But I said earlier that this wasn't the only strange LEGO video game gear item. Well, turns out there are some color variants for these Wii remotes. I think I still like the red one the most. I just like those gaudy colors. But the others look cool, especially the Pirates of the Caribbean one. It comes with a Jack Sparrow minifigure, that's sick. And actually, it even came with a few printed tiles. Yeah, maybe this one's the best. Another fun Pirates of the Caribbean tie-in item is this Nintendo DSi case. It's some kind of like additional housing that you can place over the top of your Nintendo DSi. And it lets you have some studs on top that you can put this cool looking Pirates of the Caribbean themed mosaic. I managed to track one of these down a few years ago, and look at those printed tiles, they're amazing. I've been keen to use them for some sort of like billboard in a LEGO city. You know, a billboard that's advertising the movie. I think that would work well, but it's a shame that you can't actually complete the rectangle. The way it's designed, it leaves out one of those squares, which is kind of dumb, but you can work around that. And yeah, of course, if you want to, you can take off these tiles and build whatever you want on top. Also included within this are some of these like housings for your Nintendo DS cartridges. The studs and the anti-studs below it, they allow you to stack these on top. Or yeah, decorate them with whatever pieces you want. Honestly, these are pretty sick. Now, I'd love to show you how this fits on top of the DS, but I actually never owned a Nintendo DSi. That's a lie, I did, but I sold it. I just remembered. Anyway, I tried to put it on my original Nintendo DS and my special edition X and Y Nintendo 3DS, but it does not fit. But here's an image of how it would look. And this one is a fancy Star Wars themed version. This one is sick. There's also an Indiana Jones one, and you've even got a nice classic LEGO one. There's no IP attached onto this, it's just pretty LEGO colors. I like it. But the best one is a Clone Wars one. Look at that stylus with a clone trooper on top. Heck yeah, man. Yeah, look, there were all kinds of these things, and they're really cool. If only I knew about these back in 2010, I would have totally bought them. I don't know, I never saw them for sale. I'd love to pick up some of these tiles though. Like I said, I'd love to turn them into a billboard. And hey, you know, if you collect, I don't know, Star Wars and Indiana Jones sets, you're not gonna have a complete collection without these. So if you want to pick up some of these today, they can be cheap. It's like $20 or so for the LEGO themed one. But when you step into the licensed ones, it gets a little bit more pricey. The Indiana Jones one and the Harry Potter ones, yeah, they're like 40 to 50 bucks. Which isn't too crazy, but yeah, it's still a little bit expensive. But the Clone Wars one, that's a bit wild. $100, 100 Aussie dollars. Dang. And there's only one of them for sale on Bricklink right now. Oh yeah, and you could also get a few more like colorful versions of these like game cartridge holders. Thankfully, if you want some, they're pretty affordable. Hey, if you're like me and you still play your Nintendo DS games, these are perfect. I do like these Ninjago ones though. Same thing, but they come with some nice exclusive printed tiles. Again, these are priced very well, $6. Add to cart. But the craziest item that's on the electronics section on Bricklink, it has to be this 17-inch LEGO LCD display. Annoyingly, there's no information on what exactly this is, but if I'm not mistaken, I think these are the little TV screens that they used to have on display at Toys R Us. You know, they just play like adverts on repeat that helped sell some of the LEGO sets, and it enticed you to buy. And trust me, it worked. I'd love to think that this is just some AFOL that straight up stole one of these TV screens, and now they're trying to sell it on Bricklink. There's none for sale anymore, so I guess that worked. But can you imagine owning one of these? Sorry babe, I'm a LEGO purist. I only watch TV shows on my special LEGO-themed LCD display. So yeah, that's a look at the surprisingly interesting history of LEGO electronic gear items. Old LEGO Nintendo DS era merch like this, it's a lot more fascinating than I expected it to be. Did you own any of these items? Do you plan on picking some up today? Do you still own any of these? If you do, I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Happy building, and bye for now. Come on, LEGO. Make some kind of LEGO housing that can go over my Switch.